Eritrea is located in East Africa. It is bordered to the northeast and east by the Red Sea, Sudan to the west, Ethiopia to the south, and Djibouti to the southeast. Eritrea has a population of approximately 4 million people, and the capital city is Asmara. Eritrea is a persistently poor country that has made progress in some socioeconomic categories. Education and human capital formation are national priorities for facilitating economic development and eradicating poverty. To this end, Eritrea has made great strides in improving adult literacy, doubling the literacy rate over the last 20 years, in large part because of its successful adult education programs. The overall literacy rate was estimated to be almost 74% in 2015. Eritrea has been a leading refugee source country since at least 1960s. Eritreans have continued migrating to Sudan, Ethiopia, Yemen, Egypt, or Israel because of a lack of basic human rights or political freedom, educational and job opportunities, or to seek asylum because of militarization. Eritrea's large diaspora has been a source of vital remittances, funding its war for independence and providing 30% of the country's GDP annually since it became independent. Since formal independence from Ethiopia in 1993, Eritrea has faced many economic problems, including lack of financial resources and chronic drought, which have been exacerbated by restrictive economic policies. Eritrea has a command economy under the control of the sole political party, the People's Front for Democracy and Justice. Like the economies of many African nations, a large share of the population, nearly 80% in Eritrea, is engaged in subsistence agriculture, but the sector only produces a small share of the country's total output. Poverty appears to have remained widespread in Eritrea, with approximately 70% of the population living in poverty. Eritrea was affected by a locust invasion and the COVID-19 pandemic, which combined to impede economic activity in 2020. Pandemic-related disruptions of supply chains and working hours and containment measures such as travel restrictions hurt growth. The deterioration was due to increased public spending to mitigate the impact of the pandemic at the same time that revenues fell. Eritrea's gross public debt reached 189% of GDP in 2019. Eritrea's economic freedom score is 42, making its economy the 173rd freest in the 2021 index. Eritrea is ranked 45th among 47 countries in the sub-Saharan African region, and its overall score is well below the regional and world averages. The politics of Eritrea takes place in a framework of a single-party presidential Republican totalitarian dictatorship. The president officially serves as both head of state and head of government. The People's Front for Democracy and Justice is the only political party legally permitted to exist in Eritrea. Isaias Afwerki became the first president of Eritrea after the Eritrean War of Independence in 1993. And has remained in office ever since. He has faced accusations of totalitarianism and been cited for human rights violations by the United Nations. In 2021, under the government of Afwerki, Eritrea was ranked last out of the 180 countries in Press Freedom Index. In Corruption Perceptions Index, Eritrea ranked 160th out of 180 countries. Eritrea faces a wide variety of issues. Environmental issues include continued deforestation, droughts, desertification, soil erosion, overgrazing, and significant land loss as a result of the presence of hundreds of thousands of landmines. Additionally, there is heavy mining within the country for gold, copper, and zinc. For years, mining was the only major source of revenue for the country, and so this was encouraged by the national government. The health in Eritrea has been poor on a world scale. Over 2/3 of the population lives below the national poverty line, and the vast majority in rural areas. About 1/3 of the population lives in extreme poverty, and more than half survives on less than $1 per day. During the past 7 years, the number of physicians has doubled from 3 per 100,000 people to 6 per 100,000 people, and the number of nurses and midwives increased from 20 to 75 per 100,000 people.